Lotar Ogar, my champions. Hope you're all having a very good week. It's been a slow one down here. I'll be off to Germany next week, and the book club is underway, so make sure you jump inside that thread and have a good look. A lot of things has happened since I've done the last one. Got a couple of ones knocking around I just wanted to bring up. One of them I think that people need to benefit from was, yes, Comic-Con was a thing. It may have been a while ago, but hey, still a thing. And one thing that I haven't seen anybody mention is the Bonds of Brotherhood novel that will be coming out next year in May, a month for the movie. As far as I'm aware, it's going to be documenting a single part in the movie with Khadgar, Lothar, and Medivh, and this is where Medivh finds his powers. No, goddammit, not Khadgar. Lane. King Lane Rin. You when they're attacked by trolls in there, and the Guardian of Tivswell really comes to be, awakens essentially. It has been confirmed as well, it's going to be canon as appeared to the movie as well. So it will exist in the movie world. So I'm not sure if this is supposed to be taken to, like canon, because some of the stuff in the movie is not going to be canon. But it's going to be pretty cool to the movie, and it's going to be canon to the movie, which is alright. Another one coming up, which I'm very excited about, and this could be something very big for us. Gamescom will be coming around in the next couple of days. I think it's next weekend. And Blizzard have already got themselves a panel from the 5th of August to the 9th. And a lot of people are speculating what they're going to actually be presenting. If I just go through my... Jeez. The best way to go through this is just looking through your Blizzard library on this one. You can hopefully see that you'll be able to... Let me just log in. I feel like a receptionist talking to you guys. But yeah, one second. Let me just get this up quickly. Yeah. So if we just start from the bottom, StarCraft 2, well, Legacy of the Void rather, has just opened up its beta. So that's been announced. People are playing around on that. Not too sure what that will be. Diablo. Reaper of Souls has been out for quite some time, and they've just released a new patch, really, the Ruins of Sephiron. I can never say this right, Sephiron rather. And, well, I'm not really sure if they'll be planning to do anything there. Here's the store. They've been having lots of updates recently. They have just had a huge map come out with new heroes. Couple, well, I think the map, yeah, Lyric was just added. The new map was added. So that was it. Hearthstone, I was in the stream when it happened. They recently announced the Grand Tournament. I wonder if they'll be actually releasing it then. But that got its own Twitch announcement. So that was out there on the side. And I can't really see them much doing else besides the actual release. And then that brings us down to the decider, doesn't it? The big boy, the Warcraft. I think, possibly, hear me out, we'll be seeing the either a new patch for Warcraft, or perhaps a new expansion. I mean, they wrapped up the end of 6.2 really nicely, with the whole, here's Archimon, he's defeated, Draenor is liberated, and everybody's happy, and Gul'dan's fucked off to the Nether, assuming he's fucked off to the Nether. That's the portal he was summoning for everyone to get through. So it's a bit confusing, really, that Archimon is just dead now. I'm assuming he's gone back to the Nether for a bit. So a lot of people are speculating what the next expansion's actually going to be. A lot of people are saying that it's going to be ogres that are going to be inside it. A lot of people saying that perhaps we'll be seeing other parts of the world. But the fact is that the main threat has gone. This is what's bugging me out a bit. There's going to be another expansion. It's going to be very lackluster in the fact of it's all been done. It'd be like doing Siege of Orgrimmar backwards. Just wouldn't make any sense. So a lot of people are speculating quite heavily. So let me move on to speculation ideas. If it were to remain on Draenor, which I don't think would be a good idea, could we perhaps see a pirate-themed expansion? We know from previous retcons there are maps decorated around Draenor with 2 islands, one up in the north, one down south. So those islands do exist, and we know they are there. So it's more of a case of what's actually happening on those islands. Who knows what could be there? So we just need to really think about what it could be. On those islands, perhaps there could be some more fell corruption. Perhaps there are ancient Titan secrets that have appeared. Or even this one, which is, I think is a bit weird, an old god. I mean, they just need to pull something out of the bag on that one, really. I'm not sure what else they could do. Besides, either head back to Azeroth or give us a brand new world. So, I like to think that Azeroth has been ransacked, and due to the lacking content, I hope that, well, the whole of Azeroth's been reformed. I say the whole of Azeroth, I mean big parts of it. A lot of seas invaded by the Naga, a lot of places just generally wrecked in that sense. Moving on. That's just a theory. What's next on my list? See, I read off Notepad, which really does wonders for my eyes. Which is fantastic, isn't it, really? And we shall head to Ruffin's Post. Praise-based Ruffin. What is your favourite expansion in lore, and why is it the Lich King? This is more of just like a speculation sort of thing, or more of just a discussion what we like. I like Pandaria for what it did for the Blood Elves' involvement with the Horde, said Kenzatai, and for how it showed how much of shit Jaina and Varessa give about elves in general. Nothing like a predictable war among the members of the dwindling race. The Black Prince lore was really good, and I hope we see a bit more of him. It really doesn't feel like his story is anywhere close to being told. I think it's overlooked because all his quests were a pitter. Yes, the Black Prince has decided to disappear for all of Warlords. We know that Admiral Taylor had hold of him for a bit, but he has seemed to just disappear off the face of Draenor. We know he's in Draenor due to him that, but who knows, he could have slipped back through. It'd be very silly if he slipped back through because he's the one who brought us there in the first place. Who knows? This could also be very good speculation for Draenor. Perhaps Rathian has run off and he's found himself new, quote, titanic power, and perhaps the Black Dragon corruption is going to rise again. I mean, hell, it doesn't take, you don't need any dampeners to be able to corrupt you, you just need a bad mind. Rathian being the only one, and to kill off all the other Black Dragons is quite something. So it's more of, hell, who knows what could really even happen to him. It's good to speculate this sort of thing. Kenzatai then goes on to say, read it a quick year ago, gave it a quick reread. It is set between the end of the Burning Crusade expansion and right after the pre-launch event after Wrath of the Lich King. Can't even say it, there you go. The Horde is now set to march to Northrend, meaning the trace of Pandaria as the tales of Chen Storm sat in the barrels of ale left behind, and Garrosh is merely the now hot-headed son of Grom that nobody even mentions in the book. Odds are Sylvanas even knows about him at that point. All he had done by that point in time was be depressed about what Grom did and hanging around Thrall after he showed him what Grom did and to undo what he'd done. It's about Lorthamar's discomfort with his seat of power and how Archmage Sunreaver's passion gave him the position as top Horde guy in Dalaran. About Sylvanas' influence over the Sin'dorei due to Forsaken contingent in the Ghostland's importance, and that Lorthamar is apparently willing to do great lengths to ensure his people's safety. This last detail could also be said out of any of the other racial/faction leaders, from Vol'jin to Aisa Cloudsinger, from Taranzu to General Nazgrim. The only part that could be constructed to mean that Lorthamar was all aboard Operation Get Bell through Dalaran was, and I'm quoting, but seeing as any number of Sin'dorei forces would shortly be heading north, I expect many of them will likely end up on your doorstep. You'll do what you can do to aid the Maphus. And that is a leap so huge not even Diablo 2 barbarians can accomplish. Oh, I love that reference. They could go cross-map that sort of thing. The Sin'dorei and other members of the Horde had their own quarter in the city, were allowed to access the liberty to move around the trading quarter and underbelly. We are told that this is possible due to Archmage Sunreaver's efforts in the Sunreaver's faction in-game description. Until the purge happens, any and all Blood Elven and non-Blood Elven Horde members were allowed into the city. Entry 83 in this journal goes to cement the fact that he does not do a lot of pursuing and getting in bed with folks he would rather much not, no matter who they were or are. And considering all he had to do was get them where they are in time, which is explored in the short story, it's not hard to see why he does it and dislikes it. It in no way implies his involvement with the bell situation and its consequences. This is pretty damn awesome. And yes, Gold Cyclone says, if you're looking for a new mod, I nominate this guy. Damn straight. I love big paragraphs. I love to see people just absolutely whack out massive ones. So, let's have a look more down this thread, see what we can find, really. I mean, personally, my favourite expansion was the Burning Crusade. During the Burning Crusade, we saw a lot of awesome things. We saw the reopening of the portal, which was nice for people who read a lot of lore back then. I joined because I was heavily interested in the demons and shit. I was able to see their things, and it was absolutely fantastic. Big fat demons smacking down. Illidan, the betrayer, lived for 1,000,000 years. Oh, just amazing. And to be honest, it was the first ever glimpse I ever heard of Sargeras, because I rolled a hunter and a rogue. And I remember getting the vision of Sargeras and being like, what the fuck is that? And looking it up and being like, holy shit, this belongs to this guy? Sweet. So, very cool indeed. One little thing I saw that got overlooked this week was really cool, actually. How do Blade Masters Windwalk and create mirror images? Hi, is there any source on this? If not, what is your possible theory? Could they be blessed by the elemental spirits? That could be an easy explanation for mirror image, Windwalk and Bladestorm. But if the idea of blessing is true, then it remain on the Blade Master permanently, since there were many Blade Masters aligned with the Burning Legion, and obviously the elementals wouldn't be fond of that, and more likely to take back their gifts. It's hard to believe that this cast of warriors are using magic, but it's equally difficult to consider the abilities such as Windwalk and mirror image to be the product of any old orcish physical technique. Surfang the Elder, blessed Surfang, thank you sir, yes sir, locked on, says, this as well as a question by UBF21 are representations of Warcraft's capabilities in combat. Blade Masters are agility warriors, known to be enemies through superior dexterity and movement. How do you symbolise this in the game? How do you symbolise stealthiness and tricks rogues are capable of? Neither to involve the use of magical tricks, they are a way to represent abilities that the class can feel more like a generic warrior. I don't recall ever coming across the equivalent of a magical form of invisibleness or clones that were associated with Blade Masters in lore, only their excellent physical prowess. Until something like that is mentioned, I think we're going to see its gameplay and not the lore. Yeah. And that was a really nice little post I just read over, and I was like, oh, that's really good to think about. Using the Altar of Storms on other creatures. Were the Altars of Storm used on other creatures and ogres? What would the effects look like? Surfang the Elder, blessed Surfang, thank you sir. The only other instance of usage of Altars and Storms I can think of is the example most of us will know them by, the way they were used throughout the Warcraft 3 campaign. During the Third War, many of the Altars of Storms were retooled by troll masons to channel shamanistic energy to revive fallen heroes. Considering the use on other creatures, the altars were avoided by the rest of the Horde, as the intense energies that emanate from the cold surfaces can be unhealthy. There doesn't seem to be any ready explanation for this, but I can imagine the brain-enhancing capabilities only work when used on certain types or sizes of intelligent creatures. Apparently using them on more intelligent species than ogres has detrimental side effects, and there are no sources to speak of that can otherwise less intelligent creatures that I know of. Did I just repeat that? I have no idea. The fact that the Oja Magi have some sort of magical affinity beforehand can help definitely play a role. And then Dalek Rye, fell tinfoil hat. You've upgraded to 6.2, warrior. Thank you. What loot do I receive? Well, we know how much you love looking at expansions. Yes. And you know how much you love your tinfoil hat. Yes. Here's a fell version. Oh, sweet level 700 felt foil hat. Okay, I'll continue. Don't mind if I buy myself into play. I love to speculate. Building my case. Cool, flip me goes on. This is going to be good. 2 points. You deserve way more. Using the altar, Gul'dan was able to produce 2-headed ogres. Having a second head made them more intelligent. Altars have been repurposed to revive the dead as well. I think therefore it's reasonable to accept the altars are capable of harnessing tremendous power, such as enhancing the will of the user. Perhaps their function has a relationship to the magic lines or not. All we know is for certain that they do 3 things: make ogres smarter, revive the fallen, and attract elementals and the ogre magi. The same ogres altered by the devices. Jesus Christ, I was up at like 2 yesterday, because I play American servers now, everyone's on there, and they're all doing trivia at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And it's not like 10 now. Oh well. Combining the speculation to the predecessor. So, there's a possibility that the altars are not themselves magical, but act as channeling devices. In this sense, they are like 3D printers. Now bear with me, just hold in there. They're powered by magic rather than electricity, and they can be used to do/make a variety of things. Altars would be more or less harmless if it were the fact, altars would be more or less harmless were it if not for the fact that any old fellow with access to some knowledge could be dangerous, much like the one-shot 3D printed gun. And the analogy breaks here because the footnote in the linked Gamepedia articles being near them harmful somehow. Ogre Magi and elementals attracted to them. Shamans used them to revive, so they might have interaction with the elements. Ogre Magi were exposed to them. This is where I get really deep into speculation and why I mentioned the ley lines. A normal being can live directly on top of a ley line with no effect, and a convergence of ley lines one can construct a place of great power such as Karazhan. I think the altars are the ley line manipulators. They channel magical energy unnaturally, hence their dangerous nature and great powers. How deep do we go? So, how would other races be affected? It depends on the user's intent and ability. Someone like Gul'dan was able to create wizards from morons. Other orcs were able to raise in a way I can only assume being akin to perfect human transformation from Full Metal Alchemist. This means repairing tissue could be called soul back. Could be calling the soul back from wherever it had gone. There's a lot of power. Revival is not a common ability in Azeroth, unlike how gameplay mechanics would suggest. Indeed, very, very hard to pull that off. An orc could be transformed into a full hulking fell orc, into a warrior of tremendous strength. A human might be given guardian-like powers. An already formidable strength being might become a demigod, but Gul'dan's efforts to produce Ogre Magi gives us another hint. Gul'dan was never hungry for leadership. He wanted power. Why would he not enhance himself? If there are uses beyond changing ogres, such as being purely figure this out. Hell, Gul'dan would kill an alternate reality version of himself. Jesus, what's going on today? Eyes are going funny. Hell, Gul'dan would kill an alternate reality version of himself if he knew the skull contained the power. So the operator could not also be the subject, and it is far less fetched to see Gul'dan being distrustful than incompetent. He might be overreach, but he would never balk at power. So, only force through trusting subjects, and they cannot be their own operators. It is something like heart surgery in that regard. A world-renowned surgeon with a tick of trouble still needs another steady hand wielding a scalpel at his or her behalf. Who would you trust to tinker with your life using mysterious magic? Boom! Amazing. So, it's a nice, I love the ley lines idea. As Medivh said in The Last Guardian, it was a case of the world has magical power lines essentially running through it, and Karazhan is built on a very large amount of them. So the altars, in that effect, simply, quote, alter the ley lines to manipulate them, really. It'd be like jacking off someone's internet, really. That's the best way I can think of it. But you still need a modem to do it, and you need still someone to use it. And that's what he's getting at here at the bottom. You need assistance to be able to do it, which is why Gul'dan wasn't able to do it himself. It's why Ogre Magi weren't able to just make themselves big hulking demons. Very, very good. And that is bringing me nicely up to the 20-minute mark. Right. So, I hope you have all had a fantastic couple of weeks. I am laying low at the moment for the sake of the book club. Well, I mean, it's on The Last Guardian at the moment, so I heavily suggest you get in there. It's absolutely fantastic. Ruffin just fucking destroys it in the first minute. Asshole. And I think I am not going to be doing anything now for another 2 weeks again. I had my video unlisted. I'm an idiot. I'm very sorry. And it's going to be a bit of a quiet one. My next video will be more of either a look into a villain. If you want to have a look into a villain, let me know. Or it's going to be a bit silly. Perhaps a previous vid I've done before. But, hey, you guys, take it easy. Take it creamy. Take it easy. And I will see you on Draenor. Alright, see ya.